Welcome to the first module of Landscape Design for Sustainability. Tips for incorporating native and xeriscape plants. My name is Dave Petrosky and I'm a registered landscape architect based in central Pennsylvania. This class, or PowerPoint, will cover and include a review of some of the native segments of the Sustainable Sites Initiative, called SITES, to explore and analyze certain criteria to see how they are structured within and prerequisites could be met when designing and using native and water-conserving plants. We will also briefly discuss the current status of sites and approximately when the new and adjusted updates will be available. We will examine how a few of the potential requirements may be satisfied using technologies developed for AutoCAD and would aid landscape designers with native plant and water-conserving plant choices, not only in the USA, but globally. At the end of this class, you will know more about the native plant potential prerequisites for sites. You'll know more about the current status and timing for sites requirements. You'll know more about technologies developed for AutoCAD to benefit designers to aid in native plant and water-conserving plant choices. And you'll know about sites definitions for native plants and appropriate species. The title of this module is Review of the Sustainable Sites Initiative for Potential Native Plant Prerequisites. Class handouts and downloads of this module are available from the AU website. In the accompanying videos, I will take you through an actual landscape design similar to the example that we will begin with data gathering to assembling a plant palette to preparing a construction cost estimate using trees, shrubs, grasses, perennials, and ground covers with native and water-wise plants. As landscape designers, we are aware now more than ever that much of the world is taxed because of dwindling water supplies and drought. Because of these conditions, it is imperative that landscape designers and architects understand and are responsible for incorporating sustainable site principles into their landscape designs. By considering the use of native plants instead of exotic plants and using drought-tolerant plants in design, typically speaking, less water, maintenance, and fertilizer is needed for plants. Drought-tolerant landscaping, water-wise landscaping, water-conserving landscapes, and smartscaping are all terms used to describe landscape methods that reduce or eliminate the need for supplemental water for irrigation. Xeriscape was coined and trademarked by the Denver Water Department in Colorado and is another word describing water conservation methods as well. We will focus our videos in this first PowerPoint on plants whose natural requirements are appropriate to the local climate, and I emphasize that xeriscaping is different from natural landscaping. Xeriscaping is the selection of plants for water conservation, not necessarily selecting native plants. I must point out that ensuing drought-tolerant designations and plant key, shown here as indicated by the large yellow arrows, within the landscape program, you will see in the upcoming video demonstrations and the example shown here, which shall be used merely as a guide, and this list is by no means complete. The information was assembled from scores of professionals who prepared these lists from their observations. Additionally, I am sure you are aware that plant tolerances to drought may vary between regions, depending on cultural conditions and the plant variety. I recommend that you search online for your region of plants, as many areas that are especially subject to droughts already have prepared lists. Regarding the use of native plants, the CITES initiative has specific definitions for appropriate plant species and native plants that you should utilize and are very pertinent for demonstrations. Appropriate plant species are plants adapted to site conditions, climate, and design intent, and may either be native or non-native plants, if they meet the above criteria. Native plant communities are defined as plant species, composition, and structure, typical of communities native to the EPA Level 3 ecoregion, or known to naturally occur within 200 miles of the site. Since we are speaking about sites, I will provide you with a brief update on sites. There was a public comment period open from September 26th to November 5th in 2012, and sites sought input on the proposed 2013 prerequisites and credits. Feedback was incorporated, which was received from the 2-year pilot program that ended in June 2012. The public comment closed on November 5, 2012. The feedback gathered from the pilot projects will be used to revise the final rating system and inform the technical reference guide, which is slated to be released in mid-2013. Some of the guidelines and credits will be adjusted based on this information. The Sites Committee set up a rating system for the pilot program that is based on their guiding principles and resulted in a 250-point system with a 4-star rating system. Each star has a designated amount of points beginning with 100 points as 1 star or 40% of the total points. Let me show you more about the Sites Guideline and review a few slides from the current 2009 guidelines. And let us see when we prepare a water-conserving landscape design and apply some of the principles, prerequisites, and credits directly towards the Sites initiative. The basic structure is organized into 9 sections of prerequisites and credits. Because the Sites initiative is a work in progress, some of these prerequisites and credits may change, and we will discuss only the native and drought-tolerant plant segments of sites. We chose this route because the EZ-Plant landscape software, which we are using to prepare the landscape design within AutoCAD for this video series, and much other handy cultural data, which makes it easy to incorporate these types of plants into a planning plan, and will be likely helpful to choose when integrating native plants into your landscape. Let's begin this part of the index of prerequisites and credits segments of sites to have a brief look at the section associated with site hydrology. Credits 3.1 and 3.2, you can see there are 44 possible points. For project states that reducing potable water used for irrigation by 50% and 75% from the established baseline could potentially yield 2 to 5 points. By utilizing native or drought-tolerant plants, it's clear to see that credits can be obtained and applied toward the project by reducing potable water, which of course the natural and drought-tolerant plants will accomplish. As we look at Section 4, Soil and Vegetation, you can see in Credit 4.7 that using native plants can add another 1 to 4 points of credits. Looking at page 109 of the manual, you can see some of the criteria includes 1 point if 50% of the site vegetated area is composed of native plants. You get 3 points if 75% of the site vegetated area is composed of native plants, and 4 points if 100% of the site vegetated area is composed of native plants. The area containing native plants for all of these must be at least 2,000 square feet. Percent calculations are measured by the surface area of the vegetated area using estimated vegetated cover within 10 years of installation. There are other areas within prerequisites that could qualify as added credits and accumulate points towards site sustainability. I think for this video, we have demonstrated how utilizing native and drought-tolerant plants in a landscape design could be beneficial and applicable towards some of the potential sites criteria. For our demonstration in the next video, we will prepare the pre-work necessary for the preparation of a planting plan. I will cover assembling a palette of native and drought-tolerant plants, and I will demonstrate the preparation of the sustainable planting plan. Next, you will see a summary slide indicating all of the modules as part of this tutorial series. I thank you for your attention, and this concludes this PowerPoint.